If you're in the market for a new OBD2 scan tool, check out this video to find out more about Foxwell's NT624 Elite all systems scanner. Welcome back to another one of my videos. My name is Ross, and as you would have seen from the introduction, this video is about this OBD2 scan tool from Foxwell, and the model number is NT624 and it's the Elite all systems scanner. So we all dread getting in our car and seeing that little engine light come on, thinking how many thousands of dollars or pounds we're gonna have to spend on fixing it. But we're really lucky in this day and age that you can get really good mid-range tools that can actually diagnose your car for you, and they don't cost thousands and thousands of pounds or dollars anymore. So in this video, we're gonna be taking a look at this product. Now, I've never used it before, so we're gonna be going on this journey together, and I'm going to be using it on my Land Rover Freelander 2 that used to throw up a load of codes. I haven't actually scanned it in quite a while, so it'll be interesting to see what this finds. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an unboxing video, find out exactly what comes inside this box. We're going to plug it onto the car, check out the interface and check out what it can actually do. Now let's take a look at what we get inside the box. So nice looking box, obviously says details here, NT624 Elite, all systems scanner with special functions. So this does have a few special functions like your electronic parking brake service. You can actually set the position of that if you need to turn it off. DPF regeneration, I won't be able to show you that because my car's a petrol. Your TBA, which is throttle body alignment, and your SAS calibration, which is the steering angle sensor. So it can do some cool features like that as well. On the side there's just a QR code. It probably takes you to their website. And then there's some specs on this side. So it is a 4.3 inch TFT color display. Gives you some working temperatures there, which is typically up to 60 degrees. And storage temperature of down to -20 and up to +70. Please let me know in the comments if you live somewhere that's hotter than +70. External power, 8 to 18 volts, powered by a vehicle battery, because this does get powered by the OBD2 port. And the dimensions here are 200 millimeters wide, 110 millimeters tall, and 30 millimeters deep. And the weight is around 1 kilo. So it looks like it does come in a nice separate package. And there are just some leaflets and that here. So just got their Facebook and their YouTube QR codes there, and then you can get in contact with them for warranty claims and things like that. This is a quick start guide. Looks like it comes in a few different languages. So it's just 2 pages, just tells you how to basically connect it, how to connect the USB to your PC as well, and then just tells you some of the features of the menu. And of course, some contact details. And it actually comes with a full user guide as well. So this is all in English, so that's good. I've actually had a few of these tools recently that didn't come with a user's guide, so that's a really nice feature. Okay, a couple of different compartments inside here. Got a USB-C cable, so I believe this is how you actually connect it to your PC to get the data off it, but also to do updates as well. And then this is your OBD2 cable to serial. And over this side, we've got the tool itself. So first impressions are really good. It's really robust. It's not rubberized on the side or the bottom, but it's definitely solid. Nice rubberized buttons that feel like they're going to last a long time, which is what you want from something like this. It's got your serial number on the back there. You'll need that to register the device. And then you've actually got your USB-C connection there and your serial port connection there. So to connect it to the car, you're just going to be using your serial port to OBD. Always do these up just so that it can't work loose while you're midway through a scan. And then you are ready to plug that into your car. So the OBD2 port on this car is found over the driver's side of the vehicle. And there we go. So it loads up instantly as soon as you plug it in. And this is what the user interface looks like. So nice and simple to use. You've got your cursors over here, return key, okay, that's your help button. And then you've got function 1, 2 and 3 down the side. And I have just turned the ignition onto accessory 1. So the first thing we can do is go to auto VIN, and automatically read the VIN number there. It's just telling me that the car doesn't need to connect via USB, so you can just get all the information via the OBD. And then that has pulled up the actual model of this car, being a Land Rover Freelander 2 with the GT DI 2 litre petrol high power engine, and the model year is 2014. And then it gives me my VIN number down there, so I just want to go ahead and say yes, that's my car. And then it's given me a couple of options there. I've got diagnosis and vehicle profile. If you go into vehicle profile, this tells you absolutely everything about your car, even the equipment level. So it's actually started to be built in 2013. Again, VIN number, engine type, but its VIN number is actually registered 2014, which is correct. It tells you what type of transmission there is, petrol. It says about some of the equipment levels as well, what it's got. It actually says that it's got a tow bar fitted and four-wheel drive, right-hand drive, so on and so forth. And this just keeps going. As you can see, there's a whole load of things that it already knows about my car. So if you just go back, and then you can go to diagnosis in this menu, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you the other way of getting there. Go back to the main screen, we've got diagnostics just there. So go ahead and hit OK. And then this is a European car, Land Rover, Smart VIN, so it's just going to find the car straight away. Yep, that's correct. Okay. Yes, that's my car. So now this has gone back into that menu, but now we can actually go to diagnostics. You can see how many control modules it can contact. So obviously got all these control modules, and it says that there's actually 29 in total, but that might not be all available on this car. So we're just going to go ahead and hit quick scan. And then that is scanning for all of the modules. Now this way it will take a couple of minutes. And a couple of minutes later, it has now finished its scan, and boy, has it found some faults. So a lot of the modules there have passed. However, when we start getting further down, we've got restraint control modules issue, instrument clutcher issue. There's 9 faults on the body control module. We've got driver's door module. That's probably because it's open, saying there's a fault on there as well. There's faults with the heating. There's fault with the passenger door module, which I knew about. So then what we can do is we can actually save a report from that. So you can go F3, and then that is telling us the report that's now saved and what you want to save it as. When we're here, we can actually go into the faults and see what they are. So there we go, that's telling us that the code there, and that it lost communication with the body control module. So I wouldn't say that's a major one. You could reset that and that one may never happen again. And then you can obviously clear codes there as well. So ignition on but engine not running, yes. This will be cleared, yes. So that's actually clearing all the codes that are active at the moment. Now obviously if there is a fault, they come straight back. So that's diagnostics. Now we can actually go into the control modules individually if you need to. So ABS control module, you can actually go in there and then you can just read the codes. If you just want to look at one of the modules, you can do that nice and easy. Just go back to the main menu. Next one, we've got maintenance. So this is where we can do ABS service, we can do the battery replacement, DPF, electronic parking brake, injector replacement, oil reset, the steering, and TPS as well. But so there's all of these 8 different maintenance features you can do. And when you go in there, it actually just steps you through the process as well. So if we went electronic parking brake, find your car again. So Land Rover, Smart VIN, it'll instantly find it. And then it will come up with instructions of how you actually release the electronic parking brake in there. And you can exit maintenance mode, you can activate it, and you can release it as well. And then when you go through there, it will just step you through the process, which usually involves starting the car. Next one, you've just got standard OBD. So these are just your standard codes that you can just search for. Then we've got a history there. So it actually stores a log of reading. So you can see I've plugged this in now to the car 3 times. You can go into each one of those and you'll be able to find what the codes were and what it done. So you can have a look and it's just logged there. You can do a battery test as well. So this is just live data of the battery. Now I've actually got the car on charge at the moment, so you can see it wobbling up and down. And then DTC lookup. If you just want to look up a code, you can pop it in there and it'll actually tell you what that code is. Can do updates there. So we can do them over Wi-Fi, so it's actually just searching for my Wi-Fi now. And then that is my internet, so I could actually log in and download the updates wirelessly. Got the settings there, so Wi-Fi, language, units. You can uninstall if it starts to get full. You can actually uninstall some of the cards you'll never use. You can do a keypad test as well, but obviously this is brand new, so it's working well. Do a display test, change shortcuts. Data manager, so this is just managing what you've got stored on there at the moment. And then firmware update, again, you'll need to be onto the wireless to be able to do a firmware update. And there you go, that's pretty much all of the features, but it's really, really easy to use, really intuitive. I'm really impressed with it. So before I tell you my final thoughts on this NT624 Elite OBD2 scanner from Foxwell, we're just going to talk about price. So I've been looking on the internet, and right now this is retailing at about $300 Australian. Now I have found some sites selling it for slightly less and some for slightly more, and I will be leaving links in my description down below as well. But more so, I think that is a really good price point for a product that does so much. Now, something that I didn't touch on in the video, but this certainly does, is gathers the live data from the car as well. So you can actually dial into some of the control modules and look at some of the information in real time. So that's things like your oxygen sensors, your mass airflow sensor, your battery stats, some things like that. So that's a really, really useful tool to use as well. But if I was to show you all of the features on this product, this video would be half-hour long. So the other thing I've done is I've just set the device to my Wi-Fi, and I'm actually downloading all of the updates that are available now. And it has taken already about half-hour, and I'd say we're about halfway through, because that's how many updates there are available on this thing. And there's also a desktop app that you can go onto your computer and download as well, which I've done just in case, but it seems to be working really well on the Wi-Fi. Now, if I was to be overly critical, I'd just like to say that I'd probably like to see some rubberized grips on it or something, just in case you drop it, because it is all plastic at the moment. And there does seem to be two models of the same number. One has an SD card, one doesn't. I believe mine's the newer one that just has a USB-C. So if you need to connect it to the computer or do updates, you just connect it straight in. Whereas some of the information in the user manual actually says you remove the SD card. So slight differences there, but really, really minor. So I hope you found that video interesting or helpful. If you did, please go ahead, give me the thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, check out some of my other videos and subscribe to my channel.